Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm with my Defender 90, and after doing some videos on this car, quite a few of you have asked what's been done to this vehicle since you've owned it. So what I'm going to do today is tell you every single modification that's been done to this car from its factory standard point right up to what it looks like today. Probably around 80% of those changes I've done myself, and some were done by the previous owner. So I'm going to walk you through the front, the side and the back and tell you every single modification that's been done and where you can buy those parts from yourself if you want to make your car look the same as this. So let's start that with the front of the car. So what do we have on the front of this that's different to standard to the stock Defenders? Well, the first thing you'll notice is the grille set and the light surround. So this is a KBX grille set and KBX light surrounds, which essentially is black plastic that replace the original, bring the car a little bit more up to date, and I think look really good. It's a very common look for Defenders actually. Most people go for a KBX grille set if they're looking at changing the grills on their Defender. The next thing is the lights in here. So I've changed these to LED lights, which are much brighter, and as well they have a daytime running halo as well. You've then got your indicator and your side light. Now all of these lights on this car actually, bar the headlight, because that was fitted before I bought the vehicle, are all from Bearmac. And so Bearmac make a lot of different LED lighting solutions for your Defender, and these are the smoke LEDs. And the smoke LEDs I think blend in really well, particularly with the black grille set. So the next thing on this car is the front lettering. So for those that don't know the history of the Defender, after 2007, the TD5 engine, which this car is, moved on to the Puma, and when that happened, the bonnet had this hump in it. So when they used to have the flat bonnets, like on the TD5, they never had Defender written across here. In fact, they had a Land Rover, and that often wasn't even 3D lettering in some cases. So I put the black plastic lettering for Defender across here in gloss black. I think it looks really good and just makes the car look a little bit more up to date than it originally was, being, you know, let's say over 10 years old than it is at the moment. The other thing you'll note as well is when you look, there's quite a few stainless steel fixtures and fittings on this car, and that's something that I did because I wanted to stop all the corrosion. So often when you buy Defenders, you'll find that all the bolt points are often corroded, they're very seized up, and what you need to do is replace them. And so what I did is I replaced all these with stainless steel, as you can see on the front bumper here, but also on all the grille surrounds as well. These are all stainless steel bolt replacements. So moving up onto the wing top, we've got the wing top vents on both sides. So these are gloss black, and actually when I bought the car, these were more of the kind of grey plastic that's matte that they originally have for the arches. I got these sprayed gloss black at the same time as I did the arches and the roof, and I think it just looks really good. And again, I've changed them with stainless steel too. So that's the wing top vents. Talking about stainless steel, we've also got the bonnet screws. So the bonnets are held in with 3 screws, which makes them incredibly easy to steal, which is what you probably read a lot about when you're looking at Defenders. But it also is an area that they rust and corrode, and actually that goes into the hinge as well. So I changed all the bolts on the connectors for the bonnet with the stainless steel fixings. Now all the stainless steel kit that I've done on this car is from a company called Tenega, I think it is, and I'll put the name of that right here for you and the link to the website so you can go check them out. And they do a bolt replacement kit that has every single bolt for the Defender, but importantly they're all the right length, they're all the same bolt head, so they look like standard but just stainless steel, which is quite a nice touch to do to your car. So one other thing about the front you'll probably notice on this car, which looks pretty awful, is the front steering guard. I've just taken the old one off because it was rusted and it was actually quite bent from being driven off the road previously. So I'm putting a new ORE steering guard on this, which I'll do a video of hopefully coming soon, and that will just help shield all this area, protect the steering guard, but actually get rid of the old steering guard here, which you can see is quite rusted. So now let's take a look at the side of the car and tell you what I've done here too. So let's start at this end, and we'll start actually with the obvious, so the tyres and the wheels. So the wheels are Land Rover Boost alloys. They are the standard wheels that this car came with. They have, however, been sprayed gloss black, as well as the nuts as well. We've also got the tyres on here, so these are Cooper STT Pro Discover tyres. I really like them. They are mud terrain tyres, so they look really good on this car, and they're really capable, but actually they don't even produce that much road noise. When I bought these tyres, I read a lot online about people saying how much road noise they make and they're really unbearable to live with, and actually I don't find them any different to the normal tyres, to be fair, so don't be put off by that. If you want these knobbly mud terrain tyres on your Defender, then it's not really a problem at all, in my opinion. Next up, we've got the wheel arches. So wheel arches for me were really important to get sorted. On this car, they were quite bent and bowed in the middle, and I actually bought a couple online to make sure I had a full set of 4 before respraying them gloss black, as you can see. Now when you're looking at wheel arches, For me, it was really important to get the original Land Rover ones because the aftermarket ones always look a little different, they fit a little different, and they don't quite look the same and as good. So for me, made sure I got 4 Land Rover original ones. One was actually off a blue car, and they were all different colours at one point. Stripped them all back, sprayed them gloss black, and it gave you this look that we have here. And it's really nice because it matches in with the gloss black roof, and I think gives a good look throughout the car. So next up are the little side indicators. Again, these are just smoke LED side indicators rather than the normal bulb ones, and just sort of complete the look really from a lighting point of view. Moving up, we've got a TD5 badging. Again, this comes standard on the cars, but if it was anything like my car when I bought it, they're often worn out and gone, so I just got a replacement badge online on eBay. Hinge-wise, I was going to respray the old hinges, but they were really corroded and they had a lot of rust in the actual hinge mechanism themselves. So I rebought these in stainless steel, as you can see, and also then put that bolt replacement set in all these bolts too. So I sprayed them myself in Keswick green, the same car colour code that this car's in, and it was a really easy job to do, and they look really good too. The only thing I'd say about these is when you are taking your doors on and off is to make sure you get the alignment right. So looking down the car to make sure the line's straight is really important when you're changing these parts particularly. We've also got on here the wing mirrors. So the wing mirrors themselves, the backs of them, these are uni-truck wing mirrors, which are not standard Land Rover mirrors, but they look the same as what the standard ones did look like. And I resprayed these again in Keswick green, just colour-coded them with the rest of the car. I could also have gone gloss black, but I thought the green was quite a nice touch, and I think it looks quite good overall. So moving down this side of the car, what else do we have? I've mentioned the gloss black roof. Originally was a white roof. There are days I do regret spraying this, and maybe I should have left it white, but I think with the whole look of the car, I think black was a good look overall to go for. The windows in the back, this car was a van back originally. Didn't have windows or seats in the back, so this was put in, and this was actually put in before I owned the car. This particular window was, but I did do the rear windows myself, and it was a really easy thing to do. Although looks challenging and scary, really easy. Template, jigsaw the aluminium body panel out, and then put the window and glass in with the rubber seal. Wasn't a problem at all. And finally, the back of the car. Now, when I was at the sides, I forgot to mention as well, you can probably see the yellow springs just under here. It's also had a 2-inch lift kit on this car, which definitely helps with these big tyres that it's got on. They were done not by myself, but by the previous owner. So let's start with the back of the car, have a look. So to start with, you can first see we've got the quarter panel windows. Again, these were not standard in this car. These are ones I cut out myself. These are from Masai 4x4. I bought the piece of glass and the rubber seals. As I mentioned, quite an easy job to do yourself. I wouldn't really hesitate doing that, and I wouldn't stop you getting a van back car. If you wanted that station wagon look, you can definitely do that yourself. It's not a problem at all. The lights, again, as I mentioned, these are all Bearmac LEDs. So you've got the main light really that's on at the moment. You've got your indicator, your fog, and your reverse light, and these are all LED lights from Bearmac themselves. I've also done the number plate light, as you can see. It's really, really bright now. It's an LED light rather than the normal bulb light. And I've also shortened the block too. So originally on Defenders, it's probably twice the size of this that comes out the back of the car. And I put this shorter one on, made it LED. It's much brighter, and it just looks a lot smarter on the back of the car. Rear wheel wise, there's a lot of debate about what you should do about your rear wheel on your Defender. Should you have it on an arm, or should you have it mounted to the back door? Now, I've read a lot about this, and I decided actually to mount it straight on the back door rather than on a swing arm, although there is a risk that you can crack the rear door itself by having the weight of the wheel and tyre on the back. For me, because this is a slightly newer model, the older models were definitely prone to cracking the rear door. I don't feel it's a huge risk. I don't go off road a lot with it. I don't have the door open for long periods of time, so I feel like the strain is probably quite low. Saying that, I may be saying this in a month's time when I've got a cracked rear door, but for now, I think it's fine to do this in this car that I've got here. The rear hinges on this car have also been changed. Now, these were the original hinges, and I actually resprayed these and put stainless steel bolt fixings in. They came up really, really well, and it just saved me having to buy new hinges for them really. So that was a really easy modification and quite a rewarding one. Now, when you look at the back of the car, one of the first things that gives these cars away, usually with their age, is the rear cross member, which is this area here. It's essentially the back part of the chassis. Now, When I got this, it had loads of surface rust on it. It looked awful, and it always makes your car look quite bad from the back if it is corroded. And I did this myself. I took it right back down to bare metal, and I resprayed this car actually with different coatings from a company called Buzzweld. So Buzzweld do loads of different coatings for chassis protection and paint protection, and I used a rust primer on this first, and then resprayed it with 2 or 3 coats of their black chassis paint, and it's come out really well. This was about 6 months ago, and it's lasted really well. There's no bubbling or flaking or peeling or anything like that at all. I also put the rear step on. I quite like a rear step on the back of Defender. Again, that was really easy fix, just 2 bolts straight on there. And the other thing I did in here was a tow bar and the electric connection too. So fitted a tow bar onto the back in case we need to tow anything. And again, really easy fix, just a few bolts here and there to do that, and that was just from a local towing shop. One thing that I really think tidies up the back of these cars are these rear tub bolts. So if you're ever driving behind a Defender, have a look at these bolts here, because often they're really corroded and rotted away alongside the rear tub as well. And they're so difficult to get out. You have to have a really long arm wrench to do that, often using a blowtorch and some plus gas to get them out. But when you do and replace them, it looks so much better from the back, and it really helps when you do the cross member too. It all looks really complete. So I changed all of these, and I also resprayed the back piece of metal on this car just under the door sill, just to make that look a lot neater really, and overall finish it off. So what I'll do is I'll open the back door and show you inside the back, because there's a few things that I've done inside too. So you can see here that I've got the steering guard ready to go on. This is my ORE steering guard, which I'm going to put on soon on the front to tidy that up. But the other thing I did here was the rear door sill. So where the rear tub bolts were, I put a new door seal on and also a new stainless steel trim. This was from a company, I can't quite remember now, but I'll put it on the video after I've filmed this. But this again neatens it up. This area gets dinted, it gets corroded, and it's a real giveaway of the age of the car when they're not redone. Inside the back of this car, I have started to soundproof it, so a few layers of rubber matting in here, but I need to finish the rest off. This car does have seats in the back too, and so people do ride in the back, and it makes it a lot more comfortable actually if it's got noise insulation and sound insulation too, which is something that I'm going to be doing. So the final thing to take a look at is inside the car. What have we done inside? Well, as you can see, it's had a full recarpet, brand new recarpet, which I've done myself using Exmoor trim carpet sets. It just makes the car look a lot fresher inside. I also, as you can probably see under here, have soundproofed and sound deadened it and insulated it, and as much as I can to make it as comfortable as possible to drive. This car's also got a Momo steering wheel on it, just to make it a bit smaller so you can actually turn right in the car, otherwise your elbow ends up hitting the door. It's also got a couple of new gear knobs on it too, as you can see in the stainless. And these seats are Exmoor trim too, which were fitted before I bought the vehicle. I'm not massively keen on them, but they are more comfortable than the standard ones and actually look quite good inside. And that's about all I've done inside, but to be honest, it's made a big difference carpeting and soundproofing it, just doing that really. So I hope that video has been useful, just to tell you what I've done to this car to make it look the way it does today. Any of the things you want to do yourself, if I haven't mentioned it in this video, drop me a message in the comments below and I'll let you know where I got that part from. Anything else you think we should do to this car, again, leave a message in the comments below and I'll speak to you soon. If you haven't already, please remember to subscribe to this video, like it with a little thumbs up, and I'll see you soon.